but at 13, I was a little bit lost. I was fresh into this world in a new body that I didn't know what was going on. And if I had legs, I would love to run on the beach. I'd love to run through the town. And maybe one day they'll put me in like an Iron Man suit, and then I'll be like running around, flying around. What I've realized is that anybody that bullies will always be throwing the stones up, and they'll never be throwing the stones down. Meaning that you will never get bullied from someone that's doing better than you.
At this point in your life, do you still have any fears at all?
Everybody starts off as an amateur. When you serve, you get outside of yourself. If I help enough people get what they want, then I can have anything that I want in my life. And I believe that if I bless others, I will be blessed.
Imagine going from this to this. His name is Nick Santonastasso, or Nick Santo. He was born with what is called Hanhart Syndrome. He has no legs and one barely functioning arm since day one. But you'll be amazed of how he lives his life. On this episode of Comedy Featuring, we'll get to know a lot of great words. For example, transmutation. Nick talks about how he turns pains into powers, or the word victim, which surprisingly, according to Nick, is not such a bad word after all. Or how to get rid of fears, like fear of public speaking, fear of losing face, fear of foreigners, fear of speaking English. Nick told me that actually you don't even have to get rid of those fears. You just have to learn how to dance with them. And great news, this September, Nick is coming to Thailand to be a part of Dragonfly Summit 2025. I am so excited to go hear him talk. But until then, this is the interview you don't want to miss. Hello, Nick. Saying hello from Thailand. My name is Vic over here.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm so excited to be here with you today.
Oh, same here. It looks amazing over there. Are you in Bali, right?
I'm in Bali, yeah, just for a little bit doing some speaking, and then I'll be back to come speak with you all and be in Thailand.
Yes, that's very exciting. And this is why exactly we are talking today, because you have accepted to come and talk at Dragonfly Summit 2025 here in Bangkok. So my very first question would be, why did you say yes to Dragonfly? What makes the Dragonfly special occasion for you?
Yeah, I think there's something special about getting great minds together to share knowledge for other people. I believe that we are all offerings. Our human experience is an offering to other human beings. And if we hoard our knowledge and we don't give our knowledge to the world, then we're kind of being a little bit selfish. And I feel like anytime that I have the opportunity to join an amazing group like Dragonfly and to share knowledge and collapse time for other people, it's such a blessing. And so that's why I accepted the invitation. And I go off energy. You know, at this point in my career, I've done a lot of things. I've created a lot of impact and a lot of success. And I'm at the point in my life where I only do things if they feel right. And the collaboration with Dragonfly felt in alignment and energetically great. And so I said, let's do it.
Yeah, that's a great reason to do just anything in your life. So it's all about sharing. It's all about vibing. And it's all about getting together with great people. And we are so grateful that you could be here in Bangkok and sharing your life with us. So, of course, you're one of an amazing people who's going to come and join Dragonfly Summit here in Bangkok. So, and you've been traveling all over the world. You've been meeting a lot of great people around the world too. So, from your experience, what do you think makes a person a great person?
Yeah, that's a great question. I believe that great people or great leaders or great speakers, whatever it may be, they operate at the third dimension of a relationship. And what the third dimension of a relationship states is that your needs are my needs. And so I believe that great people are in this service mindset, right? They always want to serve, they always want to over deliver, but most importantly, their eyes are always trying to identify people's needs and how they can help them. And so for me, I'm always in this service mindset because I believe that if I help enough people get what they want, that I can have anything that I want in my life. And I believe that if I bless others, I will be blessed. And so I believe that great people are those of service. And I also believe that when you serve, you get outside of yourself. Oftentimes, when people suffer, they're in this negative state, they're really only focused on themselves. But when you get outside of yourself and you do something incredible for someone else, you're able to liberate that suffering. And so that's what I believe a few characteristics are of someone who is a good person, someone who has a great heart and wants to do good for others.
That's such a great mindset to have, a service mindset, because we're here to help each other out, right? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. We've got this segment at committee, and actually our channel name committee, it means that's a great word. So we're a big fan of great words, and we're obsessed with learning from each other through words. So I'm gonna be asking you for some words. This segment is called one word or more. Of course, you can give us one word or more than that, or a quote, whatever suits you the best, all right? So can you give us one word that describes who you were at the age of, let's say, 13?
Lost.
Lost?
I believe at 13, I was lost in the sense of I didn't know why I was born like this. I didn't know why I had to be born with no legs of an arm. I didn't know why the kids had to make fun of me. I didn't know why I had to go through those challenges. And so I believe that life is a series of being lost and finding yourself. And I don't think that journey ever ends of being lost and finding yourself. But at 13, I was a little bit lost. I was fresh into this world in a new body that I didn't know what was going on. And yeah, I was a little bit lost then.
All right. And of course, now that you have found your way, we are so glad for that. And as would the other people in the world, because of course, at least once in your lifetime, you can get lost. And the good news is that you can always find a way back.
Yes. That's what I always tell people. It's enjoy the season of being lost, because on the other side of lost is found. And so there's a reason for every season, and every season has some sort of lesson and blessing into it. And I believe if I didn't have those seasons of being lost, maybe I wouldn't have the compelling vision to grow, to do personal development, to learn new skill sets. And so I believe that pain was a great blessing for me, because it pushed me to be the man I am today.
That's a very interesting word to use. It's just a season, right? It's just a phase of your life, and it comes and goes. Yeah, that's great. Okay, can you give us one most meaningful lesson that your parents taught you?
Yeah, I would say transmutation. I think transmutation is the word, and what transmutation is the skill set or the muscle to be able to take something that may seem negative and turn it into something beautiful. And I believe that when people look at my life, it is the definition of transmutation, because from the outside, it looks like a negative situation that's not so empowering, and I've turned it into something beautiful. And I believe that, the environment and the support system of my parents growing up helped me cultivate that muscle, being able to find the blessing, being able to find the learnings, being able to find the gift in life. And it all starts from the environment that you were born in. And so I have to give that one up to my parents.
Yeah, that's what we learned, that you have got a very positive and encouraging parents that helps you through all the hardship. And they are one of the most important factors in your life. And in that sense, you are very fortunate to have your parents.
Yeah, I agree. Was very fortunate to have my parents. And for those that are listening that may not have that similar situation, I think as you grow, you become the adult that little boy or little girl needed. And so regardless of whether you have your parents or not, whether you had the great support system, my hallucination is that the people listening right now are the adult that would have protected that little boy or little girl when they were feeling sad. So well done.
Mm-hmm. Can you give us one word that has changed your perspective on life forever? I'm sure you've got many of those, but can you give us one?
Travel.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, coming from America, there's you get conditioned, you first world problems, and you complain about things that aren't really problems, and you live in that bubble. And the moment that I started traveling, I realized that, wow, there's beautiful people all over, right? So there's not negativity everywhere. There's beautiful people all over. And I've also realized that there are so many beautiful cultures and so many different perspectives and so many different ways to go about life. And not everybody, there's not one way to live life. Not one person is right. Everybody has their own unique way. And there is so much beauty and so much culture and so much heart and soul all over the world, and it changed my life. Travel totally changed my perspective and makes me more grateful, because I've also been to places where people don't have much and they're happier than us. That there's people in other parts of the world that have less than people in America, and they're more fulfilled and they're more happy. And so travel has totally changed my life and has made me fall in love with humans, not just one specific type of human, but it made me fall in love with humans in general, because there's beautiful people all over the world.
Yeah, the more you travel, the bigger your world gets, right? And the bigger your world gets, you can see the several paths of life, the several walks of life, and then you can get a better view of how life actually is around the world. It's not just where you are, it's not just who you are, but it's a lot bigger than that.
Yes, totally true. I love that. The more that you travel, the bigger your world gets.
Right. Can you give us one word that can make you smile every time?
I think my one word that will make me smile all the time is perspective. I think perspective is the one thing that will pull you out of a negative situation. It'll pull you out of the negative emotions that you may be in, and make you realize that life isn't as bad as most people think it is. And you don't get the life you have, you get the life you focus on. And so there's so many people that have everything, but they have nothing, because they're always focused on what's wrong or what's bad in their life. And so I believe that perspective always makes me smile, because it always humbles me. It makes me become grounded. It makes me become more present. And even me, the mindset guy, the guy that's, inspirational and transformational, finds himself in a not so good place. And perspective is a nice smack on the face and lets you know that life isn't as bad as you think it is. And, if you laid out your problems on a table and other people laid out their problems, you would gladly pick up your problems and keep walking and not want to, adopt other people's problems. So I think my word is perspective. It always makes me smile.
That's a great word. So your life is not easy, and you don't have a lot of things. And also that makes you gain a lot of things also. And I was wondering, what things at this age that you wish you had, but you still didn't?
I don't know. The first thing that comes to my mind is I'd love to run. I'd love to just run. Like if I had legs, I would love to run on the beach. I'd love to run through the town. I'd love to just sprint and run and go fast, And so maybe that's why I like fast cars and snowboarding and all the extreme stuff that I do, because it feels like running to me. But yeah, the one thing that I don't have that maybe one day we'll get is legs. And I believe with the technological advancements and how fast the world is changing in AI, that maybe one day they'll put me in like an Iron Man suit, and then I'll be like running around, flying around. But yeah, the one thing that I don't have that I wish I had, but not all the time, but yeah, I wish I could run around. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. And I love how technology can always give us hope.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Can you give me one thing in your life right now that you can still find difficult to do?
Yeah, I think the answer may not be the answer that you expect. The one thing that I find difficult in my life is enjoying where I currently am. I believe being a high achiever and someone who always wants to do more is a blessing and a curse, because you always want more and you're never really content. And so I believe the one challenging thing for me is to enjoy the season of now, and to really embody and take in the wins, and to celebrate the journey, and the chill, anytime that I like hang out for too long, like I'm like, I got to go do something. I got to go achieve. I got to go build something. I got to make progress. Yeah. And so I think the hardest thing right now is exercising the muscle of just being, and just enjoying the season. Because the truth is, for me and for those that are listening, the life that you're living now, you once prayed for, you once wished for, and you're here. But what tends to happen is life is like chasing a bouncy ball down the street. You throw the bouncy ball and then you go chase it, and then you finally get the ball and you're like, I did it, and then you just go throw it again and you go chase something else. So it's enjoying the season of now. I think that's the worthy opponent.
And sometimes we just wish that we would want to slow down a bit and enjoy the moment, not chasing something all the time, even though we feel like that's what we're supposed to do, right?
Yeah, right. Because that's the way that we're programmed, is to work hard and achieve and to keep building. And, so respect to the people that are listening that are enjoying the season of now.
Yeah. And you are one of the people who seem like they don't want to slow down or enjoy staying still for once. And what is your lazy day look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. Lazy days for me look like, just swimming, hanging by the pool, or chilling on the beach. Maybe doom scrolling, taking some time to like just scroll and watch some content and maybe watch some TV shows. I like to play video games, and I believe that we always need to keep that inner child alive. Whether you believe it or not, we're all adults, but we're still children on the inside. And oftentimes we neglect what that little boy or little girl love to do. And so for me, the chill days are play. Like what if we can create a life where the more you played, the more you got paid? The more you played, the more impact you made in the world. And so chill days for me look like lounging around and not really working, but sometimes that's difficult. But I think the true mastery is when you live a life where people don't know whether you're playing or working.
Yeah, it can totally be the exact same thing. We don't even know that we're working right now or we're playing right now, but we are enjoying ourselves. Yeah, yes. And we creating something useful and we are sharing. Yeah. Okay, Nick, I've got 3 great words over here that I don't just want to talk with you about, but I would want you to give them points, like score these words for us. Okay, so the first word being life coaching. So this word has been around for so long, and I think the perception of the word has somehow changed a little bit these days. Not a lot of people would appreciate or enjoy what life coaches have to offer. Some of them might say that, what would you know about my life? So why are you teaching me things that I don't even know if it works, right? So for you, this word, life coach, and it's also one of the definition of who you are. What kind of score would you give to this word?
If I'm honest, I don't like the word because I think it's broad. Life coach is very broad. I believe in specialized knowledge. I believe that, if I want to learn marketing, I will go to a marketing coach. If I want to learn health, I'll go to a health coach. I want to go to, business or crypto trading, I'll go to a crypto trading coach. So I believe in specialized knowledge. And so I would challenge the term of life coach to get more clear on the specific thing that you're teaching. Because life is broad, life is big, life is vast, right? And so I think, and also just to be honest, I think the word is thrown around a lot. I think it's very trendy, and sometimes people aren't qualified to be life coaches. And so make sure, so I believe in specialized knowledge, and I believe that you have to learn from people who actually have the results that you want, and that's how you collapse time. And so I'll give it like a 3 out of 10.
Okay. All right. Because it's too broad, too general.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So if we're not talking about getting certified or the science part of it or the specified knowledge part of it, what kind of traits or personalities that you think a person has to possess in order to be a good life coach?
Yeah, this is so interesting because me being in this work for 9 years, I've always thought it was a strategy thing. Let me make sure I have the right strategy and make sure I have the right question and all of this different type of stuff. And in reality, at this age, I realized that it's never a strategy thing. It's a feeling thing. And it's like what feels right in the moment, because the truth is a life coach is valuable. And what a life coach typically is a mirror for you. Every single human being is a mirror for you, and they can show you your unconscious patterns that you may not be able to see. because you can only see what you can see and you can only hear what you can hear. And so I think the thing about a life coach isn't a strategy. It's about how much can I love? Because the truth is that I can love you so much I can love you all the way from a negative place to a beautiful place. And I think that's the bridge. People underestimate what love and presence and connection will do for your client. Most people haven't felt presence. Most people haven't felt acknowledged in weeks and months and years. And so I believe that your success as a coach is directly correlated to how much love and presence you can give your people.
Yeah, that's great. And when you're growing up, who's your life coach? Do you have any life coach? Do you have any people that you listen to or people who reflect yourself back to you and help you grow as a kid when you were growing up?
Yeah, I think my body was my life coach. I think I think I was thrown into a life coach as in my body because it just gave me a unique perspective and the world, my world was very different than other people's world. And so as a kid, I didn't have a specific life coach, but there actually, I'll give you one. And I think it wasn't more of a life coach. It was more of evidence that someone in my situation can have success. And that was the other Nick. That was Nick Vujicic. Nick Vujicic is older than me, and he's an Australian pastor. And I remember my dad showing me a video of a guy with no legs and no arms, and he was successful, and he was speaking, and he was doing his thing. And for me, that was evidence that there was hope. That was evidence that I was able to turn my mess into a message. And that was evidence that I could be a blessing to people. And so I'll give kudos to the other Nick for that one.
Okay, that's great. Another word that we would like to ask your opinion about is this word, victim. And of course, we took this from your book,
Yes.
From Victim to Victor. So have you ever felt like you were a victim? And how did you get out of that mindset?
Of course, yeah, so I'm 29 years old. I believe for like 17, 18 years of my life, I played victim. And I like the word because it keeps a lot of people stuck. And so in the sense of rating, I think it's a very powerful word. And I think it's very relatable, and I think it's very universal. And being victim, the level of consciousness is that the world is happening to me. In the sense that, why did this happen to me? And why did this happen? And why am I going through these challenges? Why do I have to be born like this? Why do I have to be born here? Why can't I, like all of that different type of stuff. And what's so interesting about being a victim is people like to play victim because they meet the need of connection and significance. And so, for example, sometimes people are addicted to playing victim because when they play victim and post something negative, they get the most likes and the most comments and the most love, and they feel the most acknowledged. And so they get all their needs met by playing victim. You get the claps and you get the gold stars and everybody loves you and all that different type of stuff. And I think the ascension of consciousness goes from the world is happening to me to then the world is happening for me. Realizing that regardless of what I'm going through, whether it's negative, it's terrible, it's a rejection, it's a breakup, that the universe, whatever you believe in, is trying to teach me a lesson. And the same negative event will happen until I learn my lesson. And so that's the ascension of realizing that, the world isn't happening to me, it's happening for me. And if I can find the gifts and I can find the learnings, I can create anything. I can create beautiful experiences out of anything that's happening to my life. And so I believe that from victim to victor, as we talk about, from victim to victor, is really realizing that everything in my life is either working on me or working for me, but it's always working.
And that's how you turn your victim mentality into the victor mentality, just realizing that this is happening for a reason, and I can take advantage of whatever happens to me and teach myself something and do something better.
Of course, when people experience a problem, when they experience friction or they experience challenges in their life, their operating system, their programming thinks like they're doing something wrong and they should stop or they should run away. But what if every single time that you experience disruption or a problem or a challenge, this was a sign from your creator that you're moving in the right direction? What if it was a test? What if it was a worthy opponent? What if it was your creator seeing if you really want what you're out to get? And so with that frame, you realize like, oh, you welcome the challenges, you welcome the rejection, you welcome the hardships because you know it's just part of the journey of making you a better man or woman.
Yeah. So come to think of it, this word is not that bad at all, right? If you can use it to your advantage, if you know how to use it, then you're not too addicted to it, right?
Of course, I think it's a good word in the sense of that once you become aware of how that word influences people, you can then step out of the influence of the word.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so how many scores for victim?
I'm gonna go crazy and I'm gonna give it a 10 because I think it's a spell that most people are under. I think it's a Trojan horse. I think it's a ninja of a word, and it keeps people stuck. But I also believe that the more that you analyze that victim mindset or that word, and you see the other side, I think that the victim mentality could be your greatest teacher.
I agree. And talking about being a victim, a lot of people might feel that when they get bullied, they become a victim. And a lot of feeling of being a victim or what leads them to playing victims in their life is that they got bullied. So for you, bullying, of course, you must have gotten bullied in the past, but I want to know if it's still a thing in your life right now that you still get bullied?
5 million followers later, of course. It's what I've realized, and I didn't know this as a kid, right? So you think, bullying and people teasing you is this negative thing. But what I've realized is that anybody that bullies will always be throwing the stones up and they'll never be throwing the stones down, meaning that you will never get bullied from someone that's doing better than you. Mm-hmm. And so, but I also, to bring in another word, is at this level of my life, I have such a sense of compassion for people who, hate because they're hurting. And so the only way that they know how to deal with their hurt is to try to bring others down. And so those are the people that actually need the message the most. Those are the people that actually need the breakthroughs and the insights and the trainings and the courses and all the different type of stuff the most. And imagine hurting so much that you need to take it out on a guy that has less than you. And so I have compassion and more empathy for those people.
Okay, well, in a way, they're victims too.
And they've created their own cage and threw the key out when in reality they can unlock it and liberate themselves. But I think as humans, we need to go through these evolutions of life. And I believe that all of our timelines are different. And there's times where I was a hater. I think we all go through evolutions and seasons. And so I think it's just a beautiful video game that we're playing in.
Yeah. So the last word that I want to ask you about today is this, fear. Do you have any, because you seem like a fearless guy to me, and what you have done and your story suggests nothing else but fearless. So I want to know, at this point in your life, do you still have any fears at all?
Yes. Well, let's rate the word. I'll put it right up there with victim. The fear is one of the number one reasons why people never live the life that they truly want to live. It's the reason why they maybe never leave their country, they never leave their job, they never try new things. And what's crazy about it is it's an illusion. So fear is caution over a real and present danger. But the truth is, most of the time when you experience fear about something, you're not going to die if you do the thing. It was created so the brain keeps you safe and it keeps you in your comfortable spot. And so do I still have fear? 100%. But I know how to transmute the fear. I have a game with myself. I actually play a game with myself, and sometimes it gets me into trouble in the sense that I got to do things that I don't really want to do. But every single time that I'm afraid to do something, now I have to do it. That's my game. Every time the brain's like, you shouldn't jump off that diving board, or you shouldn't go up to that girl, or maybe you shouldn't sell that. I'm like, oh, now I have to do it because what I resist persists. And so wherever the block is, I need to override that. And so for me, I still have fears. I think actually one of my biggest fears is the fear of dying, the fear of the unknown. And I think I leverage that fear in a lot of ways because I think about how precious life is and how it could be gone in a second. And that fear, I transmute it into urgency. It makes me post my music. It makes me post the content. It makes me travel more. It makes me love the people more. It makes me forgive people more because you never know what tomorrow will bring you. And so everybody experiences fear, but successful people know how to dance with it versus battling with it.
I love it. I love how you use the word dance with fear. So we've done some research because we want to know what kind of fears do most Thai people have. And I kind of hope that you can help us dance with all these fears too. Right. So the first one being fear of losing face. So you are afraid that you might appear stupid or you get embarrassed when you do something and you get judged on how not good you are.
Give yourself permission to make a mess. You see, clarity comes from action and not thought. And so the only way that you're going to get good is to be messy at first. And like I said, the only people that are going to judge you or think you're stupid for trying new things are people who are afraid to try new things. And so they're projecting their own insecurities onto you. And so everybody starts off as an amateur, and you don't get to skip the phase of feeling like an imposter. You don't get to skip the phase of being messy. But it comes down to this. Are you willing to suck long enough until you're great at something? And I am always willing to suck long enough to be great at something. If everybody looks back at old YouTube videos, I was a terrible speaker. I didn't know how to speak. I didn't know how to articulate. I didn't know how to teach in stories and analogies. And now I believe that I'm one of the greatest, right? But I had to go through the season of suck. And so give yourself permission to make a mess.
And I love it.
The path will self-illuminate as you walk it.
Yeah, allow yourself to suck for a while in order to be greater later. Yeah. Speaking of speaking, this is another big fear of most people or Thai people or people in general. So it's a fear of speaking in front of a lot of people, like fear of public speaking. Of course, you have mastered this. So can you give us some pointers or some tips of how to overcome the fear of talking in front of a lot of people?
Yes. So this will sting a little bit for those that have the fear of public speaking. But the truth is, the only reason why you have the fear of public speaking is because you're focused on yourself and not the people that you're going to help. If you're truly focused on serving other people, you wouldn't care if you stutter. You wouldn't care if the message comes out perfectly. You wouldn't care if your dress doesn't look good or your makeup doesn't look good. You are too self-centered. And the moment that you get outside of yourself, you're willing to just show up authentically because you know someone in there is going to get their life changed because of your message. But imagine holding back your message and your knowledge and your skill sets because you're afraid of what you might look like. You need to go outside of yourself and focus on the people versus yourself, and that's when you will really change your life with fear of public speaking. And then also on the strategy side of things is the separation is in the preparation. And so it's very simple, but sometimes simple ain't easy, is you're more equipped to speak about a topic that you know. Who would have thought it? Right? Like, it's like the more that I know about a subject, the easier it is for me to speak about it. And so I would say, if you want to public speak, find something that you're really passionate about, that you love, that you're really enthusiastic to speak about. And that's where some of the gold is. But you have to get outside of yourself and stop focusing on you and focusing on the people that you're going to serve.
That's great advice. Just speak from your passion, speak from what you're great at, and shift the focus from yourself to people in front of you and kind of ask yourself, how can you help them, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's amazing. And we're so glad that we'll get to hear you talk and speak in Thailand for a longer period of time because we've been talking for less than half an hour and I enjoy myself so much. I can listen to you talk all day. Seriously. And yeah, I'm so glad that you will do that for us once you're here in Thailand. So the last kind of fear that I want to ask your opinion about is, well, we're Thai people. We are known for being friendly, especially to foreigners, right? But believe it or not, sometimes a lot of us have fear of foreigners. And I think most of it's about speaking the language because we're not great at speaking English and it's just combined all of what we've just talked earlier. We don't want to appear stupid for not being able to use a proper language with foreigners. So yeah, it has become one of the fears that Thai people have the most. Fear of foreigners. How do we get rid of this fear?
Yeah, it's funny too because sometimes I don't want to try like Saudi Kab or Kapun Kab because I don't know the right, like it's different for guys, it's different for girls. It's a lot of languages inside of my brain, and so I totally understand that. But I think universally trying is respected. I think anywhere you go, they just want you to try, and it's cute. It's just like it's welcoming. It's like, wow, they're willing to try, and that's all humans want. Thai people would love for me to try, and I would love for you to try English, and I would love for you to try to pronounce words that you don't know how to pronounce, and it would be a connector. And so I think that the more you try, the more that you connect, and you humanize yourself. It's like we've been programmed that we need to be perfect and we can't mess up and we have to color inside the lines. And it's like, what if your trying gave other people permission to try too?
Wow. Yeah, enjoy the try. And
enjoy it. Try it out.
Yeah, that's great. I love the answer. Okay, so it's going to happen pretty soon. I mean, the Dragonfly Summit 2025, and you'll be here in Bangkok. Besides being at the conference, what else do you look forward to doing or trying when you're in Bangkok?
I love trying new foods. I love learning about the culture. I love going to scenic spots. I love to create content. I love to show the world through my videos. And those are the things that I look forward to trying. And who knows? I also believe in the mystical and the magic, and things will pop up while I'm there that I'm like, oh, maybe I should try that. And so there's things that I'm probably going to do that I don't know that are even there. But I still look forward to being in Bangkok. I still look forward to being at Dragonfly. It's going to be an incredible experience. I can't wait to see everybody there. And let's all keep trying more. Let's all keep making a mess. Let's all keep finding ourselves, and let's all just keep being humans. We're all more similar than we think we are.
Yeah. And I think if you want to be surprised or the unexpected is a thing for you, I think you're going to have fun in Bangkok. And if food is another thing for you, I think you'll be at the right place because we've got a lot for you to try.
I'm excited. Yeah. What I do is because I'm on a specific nutrition protocol, but every 7 days on the seventh day, I get to eat dirty. And so I will plan it to the point where when I'm in Bangkok, I get to try out some food. With no guilt.
Well, it shouldn't be mentioned. The word guilt should be mentioned when it comes to food, right?
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell us the rest of your plan for 2025? Because we have passed the midpoint of this year already.
Yeah, the rest of 2025, I started releasing music. So that was me honoring my inner child. So I've been releasing music. So my album will be fully released by the end of 2025. So that's really cool. Speaking more, creating more content, changing more lives, building our digital programs and community, and flying my parents to new places, having them travel more, and finding more play within the chaos.
I love how you enjoy your life, and it makes me want to enjoy mine more too. And that could be so contagious. And I'm so happy that you can spread that when you're in Thailand at the Dragonfly Summit too.
Yeah, I look forward to being there and once you see the unicorn, you can never unsee him. And so once I'm there, you can never forget me. And I know lives are going to be changed. And for those that are in the room at Dragonfly, there's going to be some great blessings coming.
Nick, it's been a blast having a chance to talk to you, and I hope to do more once you're in Bangkok. But before we say goodbye today on the show, our show is called Comedy, translated to Thai. That's a good word. So I want to ask you if you have any favorite words that means a lot to you. Give us one word.
Service. I built my whole life off service. I built my whole life off on serving others. And so I believe that there is great growth, great fulfillment, great purpose, and great everything when you lead with service.
Nick, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. You're amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor.
Bye-bye. I'll see you.